Welcome all of you. In this video we are going to see about storage organization, and we also call this as runtime storage management. Usually the program what we are writing, it will be available only in the hard disk. நம்ம நார்மலா எழுதுற high level language program எல்லாமே it will be available only in the hard disk. But the CPU or the processor can execute only if the program resides in main memory. So, after compilation is over, the compiler demands a block of memory from the operating system in order to store the compiled program, which is in object code, in the form of object code, to be loaded in the main memory. So, the operating system in turn allocates a free block of memory, and now we are going to see how the program is being stored during runtime. That is how the runtime storage management will be taken care of. And we can divide the block of memory which is being allocated by the operating system into 4 parts. The first part is called as code area. The second part is called as global or static area. The third part is called as stack area. And the last part is heap area. We can discuss what will be available in the code area. Usually code area will contains the target executable code, that is the object code. The object code of all the functions will be available, or it will be stored in the code area only. Next comes your global or static area. In this area, all the global variables and the static variables are being stored. Stack area is the one where the activation records are being stored. Whenever a function or procedure is called in our program, a new activation record is created, and this activation record will be loaded in the stack. And the stack area is usually used to store the activation records. This stack area will be growing. It is not static. It will be growing from bottom to top. Usually, stack top will be pointing to the top of the stack. And next comes the heap area. This is also a growing area, and this will be growing in a reverse direction as of stack. And this heap area is used to store dynamically created object like pointer variables. The malloc, calloc use பண்ணி pointer variables வந்து dynamically create பண்ணுவோம்ல, those dynamically created variables will be stored only in this heap area. Next, we are going to see about storage allocation strategies. Various storage allocation strategies can be used to allocate the storage in different areas of memory. It can be of static allocation, stack allocation, or heap allocation. What is static allocation is, if the storage is being allocated at compile time, then it is called a static allocation. If the storage is managed as a stack, then it is called a stack allocation. And the storage, if it is allocated and deallocated at runtime from a data, it is called as heap. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the first strategy called a static allocation strategy. All the variables which are available in the main program, in the procedures P1, P2, P3, P4 and etc., all the variables whose memory can be decided at the compile time will be allocated using static allocation. That is, allocation of memory during compile time is called as static allocation. The compiler allocates space for all the variables, whether it is a local variable or global variable, at the compile time is called a static allocation. What is the restriction here is, the change of size of these variables cannot be possible during runtime. Also, the variable access is very fast since the addresses are known at compile time. Let us see an example for static allocation. Here in this program segment, I is a global variable, and we are having a main function and a function called as f. For this main function, K is a local variable, and for this function f, K and M are local variables. So we need to store the variables I, K, M and K in the memory. So as usual, the code segment of both the functions main and f will be loaded in the code area. So the code area contains the code of main and code of f. Next, we are going to create the activation record for main and the activation record for f. So the activation record of main contains the local variable k, and the activation record of f will contain the variables k and m. So the global variable will be allocated in the static area. So this is how the memory will be allocated at the compile time for this particular program using static allocation. So we have code section, we have global or static area section where the local variables and global variables are getting stored. So all these memory allocations will be done at compile time itself. So we are not going to use any dynamic storage methodology for allocating the space for these variables. So it is decided at the compile time. So the memory will be allocated by the compiler at the compile time itself. So we call this as static allocation. So now we are going to see the restrictions of static allocation. The size of the data object should be known at the compile time. So compile time itself, you have to decide the size of objects because it cannot be increased or decreased. If more memory is allocated for a particular variable and if it is unused, the space is going to get wasted. Next, insertions and deletions are more expensive, and it is not going to support any recursive procedures, and no dynamic memory allocation is possible using static allocation. So these are all some of the restrictions of static allocation strategy. Next comes your stack based allocation. Previously என்னென்ன drawbacks எல்லாம் பார்த்தோமோ அதெல்லாம் வந்து it can be lifted in stack based allocation. இங்கே வந்து recursive procedures can be supported, and recursive procedure support பண்ணனும் அப்படினா ஒரே ப்ரோக்ராம்க்கே what is meant by recursion? If a function calls itself repeatedly, then it is called as recursion. So ஒவ்வொரு தடவையும் அந்த function புதுசா create ஆகும்போது new activation record will be created. So multiple activation record for the same procedure can be created using this stack based allocation. Okay, let us see how activation records are loaded into the main memory for this particular example. This example is having a main function which is having a temporary variable or a local variable f, and it is having a function fact of 3. So this fact is a function which is declared defined outside, and this fact is a function used to find the factorial of the given number. Factorial of 3 will be found using this fact function. So 3 is passed as parameter, and if n is equal to 1, return 1, else we are going to call the function recursively until we reach 1. So we have initially the activation record of main. This activation record will be loaded in the main memory in the initial stage. So this is your stack area. The activation record of main will be loaded first. So it is having the local variable f. So once it is calling fact of 3, the activation record for fact of 3 will be loaded next. So this is activation record for fact of 3. It is loaded next, and it is having the parameter 3. Once this is called, if n is equal to 1, return 1. So n is not equal to 1, it is 3. So we are going to have fact of n minus 1. So fact of n minus 1 is fact of 3 minus 1, which is 2. Fact of 2 will be called and the activation record of fact of 2 will be loaded in the stack area. Again, it checks for n equal to 1. N is not equal to 1, it is 2. So we have fact of again n minus 1, which is 2 minus 1. Activation record of fact of 1 will be loaded in the main memory with 1 as the parameter. Now, once if it is equal to 1, return 1. So the return value will be 1 and it will be loaded in the, it will be returned back to the caller function. So at present in the stack area, we are going to have activation record of main, activation record for fact of 3, activation record of fact of 2 and activation record of fact of 1. Now we can see how it is going to return value to the called function. So now the last, that is last fact of 1, it checks for its parameter. If the parameter is equal to 1, so it is 1, then return 1. Using dynamic link, it returns 1 to the previous called activation record. So this 1 will be got from here and this is multiplied with n is equal to fact of n minus 1. So fact of n minus 1 has returned 1, that is multiplied with its own parameter n. 2 into 1 will be multiplied. So this is again returned back to the previous function. So 2 is the value returned by the previous activation record and the current parameter, this is actually 3. Current parameter is 3. 3 into 2 will be returned back to main. So ultimately main function, the fact of 3 will have 6 as its value and it is assigned to the local variable f. So this is your activation tree. Activation tree is the order in which the activation records are loaded to the main memory. Initially, main will be loaded and next the activation record of fact 3 will be loaded and next activation record of fact of n minus 1, that is 3 minus 1. Fact of 2 will be loaded. Again, fact of 1 will be loaded. So this is called as activation tree. So let us see what is an activation record. Activation record it is nothing but a record which is created during function call and it is destroyed when the function gets exited. Activation record it is nothing but a block of memory. It is nothing but a frame. The over activation record fully enna content irukum appadina, we'll have local data, saved machine status, access link, control link, actual parameter, return value and temporary variables. Return value na enna, ipo main vandu இன்னொரு ஃபங்க்ஷனை கால் பண்ணுது அப்படின்னா இந்த புது ஃபங்க்ஷன் வந்து ரிட்டர்ன் ஆகும்போது எங்க போய் திருப்பி ரிட்டர்ன் ஆகணும் அப்படின்ற இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் வந்து ஸ்டோர் பண்ணிருக்கிறது தான் ரிட்டர்ன் வேல்யூ. அண்ட் ஒரு ப்ரொசீஜர் வந்து இன்னொரு ப்ரொசீஜரை கால் பண்ணுது, இல்ல ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன் வந்து இன்னொரு ஃபங்க்ஷனை கால் பண்ணுதுன்னா அதோட ஆக்சுவல் பேராமீட்டர்ஸ் எல்லாம் இந்த இடத்துல ஸ்டோர் பண்ணிருக்கும். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் யூஸ்ட் பை த காலிங் ப்ரொசீஜர் டு சப்ளை பேராமீட்டர்ஸ் டு த கால்டு ப்ரொசீஜர். நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் கண்ட்ரோல் லிங்க் அப்படின்னா செயின் ஆஃப் ஆக்டிவேஷன் ரெக்கார்ட் கிரியேட் ஆயிட்டே இருக்குல்ல. ஸோ இது வந்து ப்ரீவியஸ் ஆக்டிவேஷன் ரெக்கார்டோட கனெக்ட் ஆகிட்டே இருக்கணும்னா கண்ட்ரோல் லிங்க் இஸ் யூஸ்ட். அக்சஸ் லிங்க் அப்படின்னா சப்போஸ் குளோபல் வேரியபிள்ஸ் இல்ல நான் லோக்கல் வேரியபிள்ஸ் எல்லாம் கரண்ட் ப்ரொசீஜர்ல இருந்து அக்சஸ் பண்ணணும்னா we need access link. saved machine status ஒரு இடத்துல இருந்து இன்னொரு இடத்துக்கு ஜம்ப் பண்ணும்போது கரண்டா அந்த பொசிஷன் அதோடைய கரண்ட் ஸ்டேட்டஸ வந்து சேவ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா we need this location. local data we know local variables எல்லாம் ஏதாவது யூஸ் பண்ணியிருந்தோம்னா இந்த இடத்துல ஸ்டே பண்ணிக்கலாம். and temporary area where some temporary variables can be stored. So this is how the activation records are created at runtime and it will be loaded, and whenever new activation records are created it maintains a pointer called as control link. On completion the current record will be deleted from the stack, and the stack based allocation supports dynamic memory allocation and pointers to data allocations are also possible. We'll continue our discussion in part 2.